Hi everyone, welcome to OP Digital Blueprint, and apologies for my tardiness. That's my fault yet again. I'm joined today by my good friends Jeanne and of course Red Redfern, and today we're going to have a little conversation. Well, we're going to let Red have a chat first, but and we shall follow on from there because we're good at that, aren't we, Jeanne? So away you go, Red.
Well, thank you very much, Andy, for always encouraging me to go first. I do appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. Always good to be here on a Tuesday night with Jeanne and Andy. I like Tuesday nights. Why? Because we get to talk amongst ourselves. I've talked many times about keeping your circle of people you want to hang with the same as you are, in the positive thinking, the people who are on your own wavelength. And when you're with the same kind of crowd, it's easy to talk, isn't it, really? Because people get it. And this is what makes coming on here on a Tuesday night for me all that much easier. Now, this week I started talking about what makes a winning formula. And it was a bit of one of these rabbit holes that you end up going down. It was an idea that I had of, you see so many people, so many businesses, and what actually makes that winning formula for these people to succeed. And so I started researching it a bit, and one thing went down another thing and another thing. But so many of the things I was researching do really appertain not only to our CEO, Ashmi Farah, and OnPassive, but also to ourselves individually. And this, for me, the reasons behind what makes a winning formula really is the difference between the ones that succeed and the ones that don't. I can't put it any plainer than that. Success has a winning formula, and you need to really understand what that winning formula is and put it into place for yourself. Obviously, we know what our CEO is doing behind the scenes. He is providing us and is going to deliver a fully functional ecosystem with products and services that we will be able to resell and make commissions on. Absolutely fantastic. The details of that will all become very apparent, and we'll know exactly where we are. But then it is up to us to utilize the things we are given for our own success. And before people start saying, does this mean I've got to market? Does this mean I've got to do the work? Does this mean that OnPassive aren't going to do anything for us? No, not at all. What I'm saying is, if you want to realize your dreams, your goals, then you have to be the one who is going to utilize the platform to do it. Now, when I was looking into all of this, the main thing that came out above and beyond anything else was you need to have a vision and goal that you are going to aim for. And why is this important? It's important because if you haven't got that vision and that goal that you are trying to achieve, when times get hard, and we've all had hard times individually, our journey of OnPassive, all the rest of it, maybe within family, within work, whatever it may be. If you haven't got that vision and that goal of what you are trying to achieve with your life and where you want to go and what you are actually after, you'll give up at the first hurdle. You won't push through. You won't dig deep to do what is necessary to get to the next stage. Now, we know the adversity that our CEO has gone through because it's been well documented. And what makes him resilient and tough is that vision, is that goal of what he is trying to achieve. If we want to achieve our own success, then we have to have that strong vision, that strong goal as well, to realize our own dreams. Now, we have the business, we have our CEO, he's doing his thing, he is realizing his own dreams, his own vision of not only producing a company, but one that is going to be accessible to the everyday person on the street, us lot. We've individually got our own goals and our own dreams of what we want to achieve personally within our own lives. That is what we need to hang on to. And that is just one example of one of the elements of a winning formula for success: vision and goals. There is others that I'm going to go over during the week, but it's such an interesting topic because it really does stand the entrepreneur and every single person who is part of OnPassive, whether you're a founder, whether you're an affiliate. At the end of the day, we're entrepreneurs, guys. Why? Because we are not going to settle for average. We're not going to settle for that 9 to 5, the grind. We believe that we deserve more. That's our vision. That's our goal. That's our passion of what we're trying to achieve. Does that mean to say that we're not happy with our lives? No, it doesn't. But there is all, I believe, something within ourselves that is saying we deserve a little bit more. This is why we looked in the first place, because there was something driving us to have a look for something a bit more. What is there out there that I can utilize to get to where I want to go? This means you're an entrepreneur. And what we need to do is to realize this and action it at the same time. If you don't, you're just going to get left behind. Does this mean to say that the company aren't going to do what they said they were going to do and help people? Of course they are. But it really is up to you to start believing in yourselves, start having that passion and that goal of what you're trying to achieve, so that when it's go time, you'll come out guns a blazing and utilizing the whole of the ecosystem to its fullest for your benefit. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks, Red. Great start. Great start. This is, I love this concept, and I love the fact that, you know, every single person that we've got, and bear in mind, there's 1.4 odd million, what we would class as early birds. And many of those have kind of fallen by the wayside because they don't really know what's going on, which is a shame. But they'll be back. But those of us that do understand, the questions that we have to ask ourselves is, why did we look at this in the first place? What did we see that brought us into the fold? What was the main premise of coming into this business in the first place? Yeah. What and what were we hoping to gain from it? Now, a lot of people have kind of lost that thought process, lost that way of thinking about it. And I think it's definitely time to revisit that and start, as you said, we've got to look at our goals. We've got to look at the way we're going to move forward. But if we think about why we became part of it in the first place, that should reignite or re-spark us into looking for what we're intended to get out of it, and then it's down to planning again, because we know it's coming back, and we know it's coming back in a big way. And we've seen tiny glimpses of some of the options that the company are bringing out, but I'm going to call them glimpses because at the end of the day, pretty much everything's probably changed. Fair to say. So that is the excitement in itself, because if it was good before, Christ, what's it going to be like now? So You know, what are your thoughts, Jeanne?
Well, both of you just, oh, that was such good stuff. First, I want to start out by thanking Red for kicking it off. And I totally agree about the spending time with like-minded people, and that, to get back to your winning formula thing. I mean, that is part of a winning formula. All these interviews you read about billionaires and how they started, or just entrepreneurs in general, they're not spending time with negative Nellies. They're not spending time with people that find, problems. They want the visionaries, the people that spark that positive, anything is possible kind of vibe. So I'm honored that you appreciate this time on Tuesday nights, but all of the groups that gather every single day to talk about this company, they are just, when you see it, and as Andy said, when you see what's happening here, and when you think about, like, why am I here? Why did I come in here? For me, it's freedom. It was the freedom that was the potential, the time freedom, the financial freedom, the freedom to really, really do what our hearts have wanted us to do our whole entire lives, since childhood. So, we think about, spending time focusing only on the positives, like, people could be worried about things that are going to change. I get excited about it because we know everything that Ash Mufareh does is super cool. I mean, it's always super cool. So when you think about, moving forward, you don't want to attach yourself into the way that things were, even as awesome as they were. You want to say, anything could happen now, and it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be exciting, and we're going to be able to get to that state of freedom from which we'll be able to help everyone else. It just sort of snowballs. Um, so, I'm just trying to think of, Andy, where you wanted to go with this conversation. I'm just so excited because the change for me is the fun part, the excitement, the innovation that Ash has always been doing. It's just the not knowing, the idea that he always loves to surprise us, and it's always a delight. I mean, did any of us expect any of the things that he did? And I don't even want to talk about him because, again, those are in the past. Ash does not want us concentrating on the past, but every single thing that the man has done has been absolutely, like, mind-blowing. So we know that that's what's going to happen. Hi, Peter. What's going to happen going forward, and I couldn't be more proud to be, hanging out with, as Red would say, this lot, because we know we're going places because we're doing all the things that a winning formula requires, and we do it every single day. So that's all I wanted to add there, Andy. Thanks.
Thanks. I think that one of the key factors for me, and this goes for anything in life, is who do you listen to? Who actually has been able to do this? Who has created something previously? Who's been at the top of his game previously? Yeah, and who knows how to do it? So it's like having a mentor. If you've got somebody that's been there, seen it, done it, bought the T-shirt, knows exactly what he's trying to achieve, and you can grab hold of his shirt tails and join him along the journey, yeah, you're in for a phenomenal ride. And a lot of people have kind of lost that, and I don't understand why. Because at the end of the day, this guy has already said he's not bothered if he takes a salary out of it. What he's bothered about is creating something to help others. How many companies, listen, I've dealt with hundreds and hundreds of owners of companies, VPs, presidents, CEOs, CFOs, etc. And the one thing that they're interested in above all else is that. What am I going to get out of it? what's my bottom line? How much am I going to make? Whereas this guy and his team are creating something and have created something that is for everybody to take advantage of. You don't come across very many people that can do that or will do that or are willing to do that. And that's his only goal. And that, again, for me, like you said, Jeanne, this is extremely exciting. Red, I'm sure you've got some further points for us.
Yeah, I have. And I'm just going to say and pick up on what you've just said about learning from experience, somebody who's been in the field for a long period of time. For those that have read the pop-up in the back office, how did it first start, that pop-up? What did it first say? At the very, very top, it says, just to remind you guys, after decades of being in business. That's how it starts off, right? We know that this guy has been very successful prior to going down the OnPassive route. He was, in fact, approached by many companies to build funnels and all sorts of other bits and pieces for businesses to succeed. So he's got a lot of water under that bridge of business under his belt. This puts him in a very strong position. We already know that he is a master marketer. That's his game. In fact, that's what he is good at. So again, we are aligning ourselves with somebody that knows a lot more than we do because we don't. But the whole time that we have been with this guy, guess what? We've learned a bit too, haven't we? You know, not only have we come a long way in our own evolution of OnPassive, we've also gained a lot of knowledge, and this knowledge, hopefully, we now impart onto many of you who are watching this now. Why? Because it's important that we bring as many people with us on this journey of OnPassive. We've certainly learned that from our CEO, that everything that he's doing is for everyone else and not for himself. So why shouldn't we replicate what he is trying to do? He's also acknowledges that we want to look after ourselves first. There's nothing wrong with saying that, because if you are not comfortable, if you are not happy, if you are not full, if your cuppeth is not full and overflowing, how can you expect to bless somebody else? Because you would want to keep on filling your own cup. That's why. But he's also very intelligent and knowledgeable in the fact that he knows that if he hangs with the right kind of people and they're like he is, he knows that we're not after opulence of obscene amounts. We are after making sure our family's safe, secure. We don't have to worry about money, and people around us are exactly the same. And then collectively, we can go and do what he is trying to do himself. That's what makes us very powerful. Now, going back to the winning formula, I firmly believe that one of the parts of having a winning formula is a community base that is around you. If you read about it, one of the ones that it says is networking and collaboration. No entrepreneur can succeed alone. Erecting a strong network and unifying it with others is essential for success. He's done that twofold. We have collaborated with some very big companies. It's been well documented and we know all about them. They've been mentioned many, many times. There's no point in going over them again. But there's also the network of people that are around him. That is us, guys. That is his followers, if you want to call it, his team, his foundation. We are that part. And this is what gives the business its strength, what gives him this strength, and it also is good for us as well. Now, that is, I haven't just made that up. That is one of the quotes of a winning formula. No entrepreneur can succeed alone. This is why, if you are wanting the success, it's vitally important that you network, that you collaborate, that you share ideas of what is going to be beneficial, not just for yourself, but also the collective. Because at the end of the day, the more that somebody else succeeds, guess what? The more we all succeed. And that is how this business is going to differentiate itself so much from many others, is because it doesn't become an I business, it becomes a we business. And that's what the beauty of it is that we all want to not only see everyone else succeed, but we also celebrate it. And that is a huge difference. How many times do you see other people in other businesses or other walks of life or wherever you are trying to knock somebody down because they are succeeding? Jealousy and all sorts of things get in the way of that. Not in our business. We celebrate success. We want people to succeed. And in fact, I don't care if somebody's more successful than me, as long as I'm successful as well. We can all be successful together, and then we're all happy. Absolutely fantastic. As he said, the money's already there. We don't have to go looking for money because the money is already there. It's how it's distributed that is at fault. This is what we're trying to do, is to make the distribution of wealth much more fairer, much more accessible, rather than that very fine percent at the top of the tree who all they want to do is to safeguard their gravy trains and get richer and richer and richer. We're trying to break those barriers down so that the success of millions is assured, not 1, 2, or 3. Back to you, Andy.
Thanks, Red. Sanat Kumar made a lovely comment here. Success is fulfilling your mission with passion and purpose. That's exactly what Mr. Mufara is doing. I love that. Thank you for that. It always made me giggle because I'm sure we all have a group of friends, and I don't know about you, but mine say, "Oh, I really hope this works for you." I'm sorry. That in the background, we just know that they're going, "I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. I hope it does. I don't want to see you successful. I don't want to see you get there." But they say it anyway, and you just look at them and, well, I just shake my head now. Just thanks very much. I really don't give a damn what others think. I never have. It did used to get to me. I will give you that, but it doesn't anymore. I'm my own person at the end of the day, and like you said, Red, we have our own goals that we wish to achieve, but it's how many people can we take with us on this journey? How much or what do you want out of it? Because it's your goal, your choice. If that goal is 1,000 a month or 10,000 a month or 20,000 or 50,000, it doesn't matter. As long as you can achieve your goal. That's exactly what we want. I'm not interested in these idiots that walk across the stage to pick up a huge check. Because quite frankly, normally 9 times out of 10, they'll have worked for a previous company, they'll have come across and brought their entire group, and lo and behold, they're up on the stage again. Not interested. And that is the beauty of this business, because it is totally different. Totally different. The other thing I love about this in particular is the fact that this is a privately owned company. It's not got shareholders. And we know there are 3 of the largest companies in the world that have created pretty much a monopoly. Certainly with the stock markets involved, and I'm not going to mention names because there's no point. You get to the point where the company becomes all-encompassing, where they take over, their word goes, and the shareholders are sitting there rubbing their hands together going, yes, come on, I want my money. This is totally different, guys. It's absolutely chalk and cheese. Total chalk and cheese. So when you've got somebody that A, wants to change things and make the 97% of people that actually, for whatever reason, haven't managed to make money online. Now, for me, it's because I don't know the marketing bit and I don't understand how you can link various things together in order to get the advertising up right. So if I've got a company that's actually going to do the marketing for me and create or provide me with specific targeted traffic, and I can do the rest, well, thank you, about time. But that's exactly what it's going to do for us. It's going to do the bits that we don't understand how to do. Yeah, so you're as excited as I am. I know you are, Jeanne. So what else have you got to tell us?
Well, I'm freaking out because you literally read my mind when you were talking about that we're a privately held company. You know, when Red was talking about, you know, you have that community, that support. We are the foundation for Ash and his vision. And I was thinking, and we're not a public company. You know, we're not people who are going to be, you know, saying, you know, we want our money, do this, do that, you know, change your vision because we want we're the supporters. So we're literally showing the world a completely different way of forming a company, a different way of supporting it. Just everything about it is disruptive and different. And so I guess if anybody expecting it to be created in the same old way that things were created is just, you know, it's foolhardy to think that. We are absolutely having to do things in a completely different way. And we're going to literally blow the minds of the world because they're going to say, how did, you know, these people were supporting him, you know, no money coming in, but they're supporting him over these years, you know, like, what is that? You know, they won't understand it until they see the success of it. Then they're going to say, wow, we've been doing it wrong or unethically or unkindly, or however you want to look at it, all this time when we could have been creating this massive base of people who will be the first customers, who will be the, you know, in this new conscious business model that he has created. So I think it's just an honor to be a part of something that is so different and so exciting. Hi, Peter again. And I think we are really privileged to be able to talk about this and know as much as we do about the way that it's been created, to be a part of it, to be able to tell our children and our children's children that we literally sat and talked about things with the CEO. We had brainstorming sessions. We envisioned a different way because it literally is going to change the way business is done in the future. So I think it's very exciting, and I'm really just always glad to be here. So anyway, thanks, Andy. Thanks for reading my mind.
Yeah. Let me give you an analogy, guys, because and for me, this is the way I think that Ash works. So if I have an acorn, what do you think of? Most people think of a tree. Yeah, okay. So think bigger. A forest. No, think bigger. Houses. You know, this is where this man thinks. So it's not just I've got this one acorn and it's going to create one tree. No, I'm creating this huge expanse of houses because of all the trees that have grown and been able to be used to create property. That's looking as a forward vision, as something. So he has this vision about OnPassive that we still can't see. Yeah, we see a little bit of the picture, and what we see is exciting. Where he's going to take this, I don't know, but it'll probably blow our minds when we do find out. But anyway, any final points, Fred? What else would you like to add?
No, that's it for me for this one, Andy. It's a great topic, and I'm going to be covering it for the rest of the week this week on my lives. Obviously, Q&A on Friday. So if you've got any questions, I'll do my best to answer them knowledgeably and truthfully. I just think that we are at a stage now where part of what is said about being a successful entrepreneur is to have a plan. And I'm sure that our CEO has got the best plan. We don't know it. That's absolutely fine. But that's also done by design. And I think that we are, like Andy said, going to be very surprised. I think we're going to be very shocked. I think we're going to be extremely happy when we know everything is laid before us. We've got phase 2 out the way, things are moving along, and we are going to be so happy that we stayed the course to see this one through. There's nothing else like it. So for those that are still as enthusiastic as we three are here at the moment, I commend every single one of you, because it's going to be not only the fruit is going to be worth and much more sweeter, but also we're all going to have some really good stories to tell our families, our friends, our young ones, and maybe even write a few books all about our OnPassive journey. Back to you.
Thanks, Red. Jeanne, any final comments you'd like to add?
Just that there's a Native American phrase or a philosophy of the 7th generation, which is that every decision made as a tribe or a nation looks not to just the current generation, the effect on it, but 7 generations down the line. And I think we're blessed to have a CEO who thinks in that same way, not just for us, but for every generation in the future, going out hundreds, just thousands of years. And I just think that's a really exciting place to be. So that's it. Thanks so much, Andy and Red.
Thanks, Jeanne. I'm going to leave you with this thought. Edison failed 15. He was interviewed, and he said, "Mr. Edison, you failed 1,500 times to create this light bulb." He said, "No, I haven't failed. I found 1,500 ways how not to make the light bulb. I only needed the one." We have something very, very special here, and once you see that and your little light bulb goes on, I love that, and your little light bulb goes on, then you're going to be able to just spread the word. Thank you for joining us again, and we'll see you, fingers crossed, I'll be back in time again. Apologies for the delay in setting this up today, but we got there in the end. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget Red's Live, and we've got Heroes on Sunday, so please come and join us Sunday. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. UK time, because the clocks will have changed by then, because I know you Americans you're ahead of us. But thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.